My sister, Anna, had always been the golden child. Smart, beautiful, kind. She could walk into any room and light it up like it was nothing. Our parents adored her. Teachers praised her. Friends gravitated toward her like she had her own magnetic field. And me, I was just Ellie. The younger sister, always in her shadow. Growing up, I tried to love her the way a little sister should. I wanted to be like her. I wanted to have what she had. But no matter how hard I tried, I was always Anna's little sister, never Ellie. Just the younger one. I remember one birthday, my 16th. I was excited, you know? 16 feels big when you're that age. I thought maybe this year people would see me, not just as Anna's sister, but as someone on my own. But then Anna showed up. She'd just come back from her first year at college. Suddenly, the party wasn't about me anymore. It was about her stories, her adventures, her college friends. Even my cake had to be cut short because she brought a surprise vegan dessert that everyone just had to try. I sat in the corner while my friends giggled around her, captivated. My mum kept saying, "Isn't Anna just amazing?" And I kept nodding, pretending it didn't hurt. But it did. A lot. It was always like that. Even with boys. I had a crush on this guy, Ben, during high school. We shared a class, and sometimes he'd laugh at my jokes or ask for notes. I thought maybe, just maybe, he saw me. Then one day, Anna picked me up from school. Ben saw us in the parking lot. He smiled at me, but his eyes lingered on Anna. They exchanged a few words. That night, Ben added her on Instagram. The next weekend, they were at the same party. The weekend after that, he asked me for her number. She didn't even hesitate to give it to him. She didn't do it to be cruel. That was the worst part. She just didn't notice. Years went by. I moved out. I built my life, slowly, quietly. I went into writing, something I loved since I was a kid. Anna went into PR and skyrocketed. She was on panels. She was featured in magazines. People followed her every move, and, through it all, I was still her sister. I remember when I got my first short story published in a small but reputable literary journal. I was proud. For once, I had something that was mine. I called my mum, practically bouncing. She said, "Oh, sweetie, that's nice. Did you see Anna on the morning show today? She looked gorgeous." My heart sank. I didn't tell her about the story again. What was the point? Anna wasn't evil. She was just unaware. Blind to how much space she took up in the room, how her glow made others disappear. But the worst part came when I finally met someone who did see me. Michael. We met at a bookstore. Cliché, I know, but it felt like a movie. He reached for the same book I did, some obscure poetry collection. We laughed, chatted, and ended up grabbing coffee. One coffee became two, then dinner, then late-night walks. He was gentle, curious, warm. He asked about my writing. He listened. He didn't bring up Anna, not even once. I felt seen. I felt chosen. For the first time in years, I started to feel like I was the one with the glow. Michael and I dated for over a year. He met my parents, who actually seemed to like him. He met Anna too briefly at a family dinner. She was charming, of course. But Michael kept his eyes on me. Or so I thought. It started with little things. Michael got a new phone and changed his passcode. He said he was just being more security conscious. Then he started staying late at work. Meetings, client dinners, you know the drill. He got distant, less present, but I chalked it up to stress. Until one night, I couldn't sleep. Something felt off. Call it intuition or paranoia. But I opened his laptop while he was in the shower. He was still logged into Messenger, and there it was, a thread with Anna. Messages that made my stomach twist. Flirty, familiar, too familiar. My heart raced. I read everything. It wasn't just friendly chatting. It was, remember that night after Ellie's birthday? And wish we could do that again. I froze. I couldn't breathe. After my birthday, I remembered that night. Michael had disappeared for a bit. Said he wasn't feeling well. Anna left early too. My hands were shaking. I scrolled back further. There were pictures. Selfies. Anna in his hoodie. Him in her mirror. I wanted to scream. To cry. To throw the laptop across the room. But instead, I closed it gently. I walked out of the apartment, and I didn't look back. I didn't hear from Rachel the rest of the day. I called, texted, left a voicemail. Nothing. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying everything in my head, wondering if I'd been too harsh, or maybe not harsh enough. The next morning, I saw a single notification pop up on my phone, a message from Rachel. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I don't know what's wrong with me. I didn't respond immediately. I sat with it for a while, read it again and again. I wanted to believe her, wanted to think it was a moment of weakness, a lapse in judgment. But then, something didn't sit right with me. It was too vague, too clean, like she was saying what she thought I wanted to hear, without actually owning anything. That afternoon, I got a call from someone I never expected. James. Yes. James. My wife's best friend's husband. I picked up with a hesitant hello, already feeling my throat go dry. Hey man, he started, his voice weirdly tense. Listen, this is really awkward, but I think we should talk. That sentence alone made my stomach drop. I stepped outside to take the call in privacy, heart already racing. He took a deep breath, then said, I saw some texts on Emily's phone, between her and Rachel, about you. My knees nearly gave out. What kind of texts? I managed to ask. James hesitated, like he didn't want to be the one to say it. They were laughing about you, about how you don't know, about how easy it is to keep secrets from someone when they're too trusting. It felt like someone punched me in the chest. I leaned against the wall and closed my eyes. They mentioned the ring, James added, and how you looked like a lost puppy at dinner when Rachel gave it back. That was it. That was the confirmation. Rachel had betrayed me, not just physically, but emotionally. She had made a joke of my love, and now her and Emily were casually mocking it in their private little circle. I was humiliated, angry, heartbroken, and yet weirdly numb. I thanked James for telling me. I could tell he felt just as sick about it as I did. I'm thinking of leaving Emily, he admitted, his voice cracking slightly. This isn't the first time she's crossed lines. After that call, everything changed. I no longer saw Rachel as someone who made a mistake. I saw her for who she was, a person who could lie to my face, smile through it, and laugh about my pain behind my back. I didn't respond to Rachel's message. I just disappeared. I packed a bag, left our apartment, and went to stay with my brother for a few days. When Rachel came home and found me gone, she blew up my phone. Calls, texts, voice notes, each more frantic than the last. But I didn't respond. Not a single word. Then, 2 days later, she showed up at my brother's house, tears in her eyes, messy hair, puffed cheeks. She looked like she hadn't slept. Please, she begged at the door. Just talk to me. Against my better judgment, I let her in. We sat down in silence, the air between us so thick you could choke on it. She started talking, apologizing, Rambling, said she was confused, that she felt like she lost herself, that it was a one-time thing, that she loved me. I sat there, quietly, letting her speak, watching her closely until she said one thing that shattered the last bit of hope I had. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. "It was just, I don't know. He made me feel seen. He made me feel seen." That was the moment I knew this wasn't just about a mistake. She wasn't sorry for cheating. She was sorry she got caught. I stood up and calmly said, "You need to leave." She froze. "What?" "I don't want to do this anymore. Not with you." Her face crumpled. "No, no, please. We can fix this. I'll go to therapy. I'll do anything." But it was too late. I had spent so long fighting for us, trying to be the man she needed, but she had already decided I wasn't enough. I walked her to the door. She clung to me, begged, sobbed, but I didn't flinch. I had nothing left to give her. Once she was gone, I collapsed on the floor, shaking, crying, not because I missed her, but because I had finally let her go. The days that followed were a strange kind of quiet. Not peaceful, just still. I stayed with my brother a little longer, tried to eat, tried to sleep. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face. Not the smiling, laughing face I fell in love with, but the one I saw at the door, desperate, terrified to lose the game she thought she had under control. I replayed our memories like an old film reel. Our first date, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear when she was nervous, how she used to hum while brushing her teeth, how she used to squeeze my hand 3 times when we walked next to each other, her little way of saying, "I love you." Was it ever real? Or was I just some safe option she kept around until someone more exciting came along? That question haunted me the most. I didn't talk to many people about what happened, just my brother, and later, my mum. When I finally told her everything, she just sighed and said, "You have such a good heart, baby. That's why this hurts so much." She was right. I didn't know how to stop loving someone just because they hurt me. But I did know I couldn't keep loving someone who laughed about breaking me. The next big step came a week later, when I went back to the apartment. Rachel was gone when I arrived, but her things were still there. Our wedding photos still hung on the wall. The scent of her perfume still clung to the couch cushions. It felt like stepping into a ghost town, where every room was a reminder of what I'd lost. I packed slowly, carefully. Not just my things, but my peace. I didn't want to take anything that smelled like her, nothing that reminded me of the life I thought we had. While I was boxing up old books, I found a photo album we made the year we got married. Each page filled with smiles, sun-drenched vacations, and little handwritten notes. On the last page, she'd written, "Whatever happens, I'll never stop choosing you." I stared at those words for a long time. Then I closed the album, placed it at the bottom of the box, and sealed it shut. I left my key on the counter, sent a final message. "The lease is in your name. I won't fight you for anything. I'm done." She didn't reply, and honestly, I was glad. A month passed, then 2. I moved into a small 1-bedroom flat across town. Nothing fancy, just quiet. My brother helped me decorate. My mum came by with groceries and little plants. I started going on. Long walks, no headphones, just me and the wind. Sometimes I'd cry out of nowhere. Other times I'd laugh at things I hadn't thought about in weeks. Healing is weird like that. One night, out of nowhere, I got a call from James again. We hadn't spoken since everything went down. But this time, he sounded lighter. "Hey man," he said, "I just wanted to say thanks." I blinked. "For what?" "For being honest, for walking away. You gave me the courage to do the same." Turns out, he left Emily, moved in with his sister. Started therapy. It's not easy, he admitted, but I finally feel like myself again. I told him I was proud of him, and for the first time in a long time, I realized I was proud of me too. About 3 months after the breakup, I got an email, no subject line, just a single sentence. I still think about you every day. It was from Rachel. I didn't respond. She didn't deserve a reply, because by then, I had finally reached a place she never thought I would. Peace. Not the kind that comes from forgetting, but the kind that comes from surviving. I no longer hated her. I no longer replayed our memories like wounds. I no longer needed closure from someone who didn't know how to give it. Closure isn't something they give you. It's something you give yourself when you finally stop waiting for them to care. It's been over a year now, a year since I walked out of that apartment and chose myself. A year since I stopped chasing the what-ifs and started embracing what's next. I still think about Rachel sometimes, not out of longing, but out of understanding. I understand now that love alone isn't enough. You can give someone your soul, and if they're not ready to respect it, they'll treat it like a doormat. She taught me that. She also taught me something else. I am not weak for loving deeply. I am not stupid for trusting someone I believed in, and I am definitely not broken because someone else couldn't see my worth. If anything, that heartbreak was the beginning of me learning how to love myself better. Because now, I don't settle for half effort. I don't entertain people who can't be honest. I don't ignore red flags just because the good times feel good. I see things more clearly. And most of all, I protect my peace like it's sacred. Because it is. Funny thing is, I started journaling after everything happened. Just scribbles at first. Frustrated thoughts, sleepless night confessions. But over time, those scribbles turned into pages. Pages turned into lessons. And now, I'm turning it into a blog, not to shame Rachel, not to get revenge, but to help someone like me, someone who might be sitting in a bathroom, fists clenched, heart breaking, wondering why the person they love is choosing someone else. If that's you, hear me when I say this. You are not unlovable. You are not too much. You are not hard to love. They just weren't the one to hold your heart with care. And that is not your failure. It's their loss. As for me, I'm okay. Actually, better than okay. I'm healing. Slowly. Gently. Fully. I've started dating again. Nothing serious yet. But this time, I show up as someone who knows exactly what he brings to the table. Someone who won't be fooled by laughter hiding lies. Someone who has walked through betrayal and came out stronger. Someone who knows that real love is patient, honest, and loud in all the right ways. Not a secret whispered behind closed doors, but a promise shouted with pride. And if Rachel ever hears this, I hope she knows. I don't hate her. I don't wish her harm. But I do. Hope she learns to face herself, the real her, without needing someone else's destruction to distract her from the truth. Because people like her, they don't just break hearts, they break trust. And once that's gone, there's nothing left to build on. Not even the prettiest lies can hold up a house made of sand. So to anyone listening right now who's been cheated on, lied to, left, broken, and questioning their worth, breathe. You'll get through this. And one day soon, you'll look back and thank the moment it all fell apart. Because it gave you the freedom to rebuild something real, something honest, something whole. And that something starts with you. If this story touched something inside you, if you've ever felt that quiet heartbreak no one else could see, you're not alone. Let yourself feel it, but also let yourself heal. And when you're ready, join me on this journey. Subscribe to the channel for more stories that speak to the quiet parts of your heart, because here, your pain is seen, your strength is celebrated, and your story, it matters, always.